Hello, everybody.
Howdy, howdy.
We got a comment section full of stuff already. Look at this.
Oh crap!
I totally missed that the comments tab was the thing. Yeah,
there's a thing.
Cool. Randall and I are on the same page.
Yeah, I'm like, I was in the private chat. Whatever, it's fine.
Rookies.
Hey, I will absolutely be the fall guy for technical difficulties. That may not, in fact, be the truth today, but you'll never know. It was totally my fault.
There was already a comment in here.
Absolutely. Yep. The other Phillip has already busted your balls.
We went live 9 after, which is generally pretty much better than Single Malt Frontier manages.
Hey,
yeah,
we'll call it good.
We're doing a thing. That's all that matters, right?
Live is hard. You guys should try going live sometime.
Oh crap! It's like all the background stuff. You're like frantically posting stuff and clicking buttons and
Actually, to be quite honest, the fact that Germ manages to make the blind sample showdown live on the dot almost every single time, and he does a lot of them, and that in itself is almost the most impressive feat.
You want to know what's even better? I get home from work at like 20 after 6, so I have 40 minutes to get everything going.
Just putting me to shame.
And that's changing clothes and maybe getting something to eat, setting up glasses, all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we haven't even introduced our guest. Like, we're just sitting here ranting, and we literally have 4 grains, 4 guys, 1 grain going on. Like, what is going on?
Chaos. That's what we like to do.
So hey, we're the 3 guys, and since the 1 grain apparently needs certified mail to actually join a live, we've replaced the 1 grain with the distiller of our barrel picks, Phillip Mestayer from Distillerie Acadian.
Okay. Now, if any of you guys caught my reel yesterday on Instagram to kind of notice this, I butchered that last name, and I'm so sorry. I apologize immensely. However, I did then watch the interview on Single Malt Frontier, and you said when you check into a hotel, you use the name that I use. I was like, okay, that's a feather. I'm going to take that as a win.
Absolutely.
Throw myself under the bus again. If you watch the beginning of that interview, I butchered the name even worse than that before I finally asked him how it's said. So I've redeemed myself. I had to be the one to introduce him so I could redeem myself today. And I'm gonna try to stop throwing myself under the bus now.
Hey, quick question, guys. Do you want me to stream this on my channel as well, or no?
Sure. Why not?
Do you want everybody to come here? I don't care.
But, I mean, it's easier for comments if they're all in one place.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, let's just keep it all in one place.
Okay, that's fine. It's just asking me, it keeps bugging me.
Because if I did it now, we lose that lovely 3 minutes of banter.
Yeah, absolutely. The banter. We need the banter.
So, I think everybody's here, and they are really, really hoping for some good news today.
Well, guys, we got it. Let's just say that.
We got it, but they're already sold out, so you all missed it. Sorry. Bye.
Sorry about your bad luck. Peace out. See you next week. So we have the final draft of our pick, which is actually 2. And we're going to dip through these since they have changed. They've been in the barrel for a little bit longer. So they have changed possibly a little bit. We loved them in the beginning. I'm sure that they're going to be just as good. So we're going to kind of go through that. Phillip's going to give us his thoughts on it. He's going to punch us in the balls a couple times about it. And then we're going to say, hey, here's how you can potentially get you some. Right?
Perfect.
But as long as you're the fastest finger, because there's only 36.
Once you get through the taste notes and all, I think you guys hit the nail on the head with the names of these. I had a sip of the single barrel the other night, and it is the absolute Milky Way Reese's Pieces in a bottle. It's delicious.
I think it's so unique. It's so unique.
It really is.
Is Phillip coming through for the audience, or do we need to troubleshoot audio a little bit more? Just wondering.
Yeah, let us know in the audience if you can hear Phillip. We were having
comments have gone dead. Oh no, are we still live?
Because Donut Fisher put ordered in, so everybody's frantically trying to figure out.
Yes, everybody has gone off the chat, and now they're now they're frantically ordering, of course.
Gaming Grain says a little challenging to hear.
All right, I turned them up a little bit. Let's see what that does.
All right,
Can you
Phil.
hear me better now?
That's a little
Is it
better.
better now?
Yeah, a little bit.
That reminds me, I promised someone I would send them the instructions because they asked me politely and they're not in the Patreon.
Okay. I do see some orders some comments saying ordered and all that stuff. Thank you guys. Really, honestly, we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Please, if you can, on the honor system, try to limit barrel number 45 the Schmilky way to a one bottle, just so that we can get it out there to as many people as possible that want to have it. Obviously, at the end of the day or 2 days or whatever, and there's still some left, we'll say something. And if you guys wanted another one, absolutely go in and grab another one. But obviously, also, if you know you're ordering it for somebody else, just, that's fine. But that's why we didn't put a limit on it. But we're just, if you're ordering just for yourself, try to keep barrel 45 to a limit one if you can.
Yes, sir.
I think the Raisin Dram, that's what is there, 100 of those? Yeah, so that's whatever. Yeah. Order 15 if you want, please. That would be perfect.
Yeah, 120, I think.
Yeah, we've capped at 120, and that is the last port finish single malt that we'll ever have.
Wow.
And I'm sure we'll dig into actual single malt.
Yeah.
With the Raisin Dram, you guys are getting an end of an era, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so on that, just slightly, we've released a couple of port finishes prior. Those are now sold out. Those are at 100 proof. So this is the first time we put it at cask strength. So this is 122.6. So you get that punch. But for those of you kind of realize or thinking and are on the fence, this is not a sweet whiskey. Sometimes we get to these finishings and they just overpowering. This is more of a whiskey forward with a little back end of the port. It's really nice.
Which I think is why we kind of gravitated towards that one. It's I know I've personally fallen into the trap. Oh, port finished single malt. A lot of times it ends up being too sweet. Too much port comes through. This one, the whiskey comes through with that additional, raisiny goodness at the end, and it's really nice.
It is.
So I see a comment. Where do we order?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So go to Distillerie Acadian's website. It is spelled with an IE at the end instead of a Y.
We're going to put that in the chat so you can project that on the screen.
Actually, can we? Do we have any moderators in here at all? We haven't made anybody a moderator.
I don't think so.
Hey, I apparently can't post a link because you never made me a moderator.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I can't either.
That's awesome.
Gerb is the only moderator on this one.
Great. I guess so. All right. So I'm going to go onto my phone and I will post the link. Are you ready? No, I'm not ready. That way there, you can click on the link.
YouTube is too smart for me. It didn't like the Distillerie Acadian dot with brackets com. Yeah. It's like, nope, you're spam. Stop it. I'm on the broadcast, YouTube. Come on.
Come on. Help me out.
Oh, I'm on Freedom Malts. I got to switch my.
Yeah. So this information, by the way, is also posted on the Single Malt Frontier Discord and the Off Topic Whiskey Discord. Yep. It will be posted on my Patreon shortly because I did not have time to do that before we went live.
Neither did I.
And we are also going to release this information to the public tomorrow after about 24 hours. We want to give our audience the first chance to order before we open it up to everybody else. But once it's open to everybody, I want you all to go tell everyone to order this because it's awesome.
Yep. And Ernest Peacock, I see your chat out there. There was 36 bottles, and so right now there's probably 20 out there right now. So they're going fast. So if you want one, get one now. There is 120 of the Raisin Dram. So yeah. Yeah, the chocolatiness on it is awesome. But it's also malty. Also, you're getting an American single malt. Like it's definitely malty, but like there's just like a delicatessen type chocolate in there, like really almost like 60% cacao, like a darker chocolate even. It's really I can't not.
So this is the link. So I think it should work in the chat. You guys hit that and you should take you to the website. When you get to this page, this is the landing page, it'll prompt you for a password. The password is 3 guys, 1 grain, just as you see in the name here without the @ symbol. And
all lowercase.
It's all lowercase. I'm sorry. And that should be, there you go. Yeah. Okay. So it did prompt you for the password. Great, Spicy. So 3 guys, 1 grain is the password, Spice, and it is all lowercase.
You would think she would be a little bit privy to that information.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, I did know the information, but I didn't really know the information. So,
getting 20 minutes beforehand, here we go.
Yeah.
Link works great. Good. I'm glad to hear it. That's awesome. So,
all right,
let's get into
yes.
Right. Exactly. Philip, we thank you for spending the time with us. It's amazing for us to come on. We're a bunch of knuckleheads and we're trying to get through this, but at the same time, you've put a lot of time and effort in this American single malt. And tell us a little bit about these particular ones, and then kind of go into each individual dram, I guess I could say.
Yeah, so years back we expanded our production and we wanted to put another whiskey in the lineup into the full production, and I made a batch of single malt. And what I did was I was like, look, I went just to start. I was like, let me just try to use the malted barley that I have on hand, the barley that I was using for our bourbons and our rye whiskeys that we're making. So it's a distiller's malt, 6 row, coming out of Fort Worth, Texas. Really good malt house called Texas Malt. Very good grains coming out of there. And it was just a small test batch. It kind of blew us all away on how different and malty and really just uniquely good it was, and these kind of chocolate notes coming out of it. And even in the beginning, it didn't have the amount of chocolate that it does now. So it really surprised us as it got a little more age in it. Well, with single malt, at that point, we didn't have a designation. Now we're happy to see that there is an American single malt designation. I know you guys, had your hand in that. So that's nice to see. And we elected, when we first started making our single malt, to use used barrels. So we're aging all of these in our used bourbon barrels. Now, at that time, we were only filling small 10-gallon barrels across the line. Now we're almost out of all of our small barrels for new make, as well as our older. We're all 53-gallon barrels. So what we're drinking here is single malt that's been aged in 10-gallon used bourbon barrels, and we go minimum 3 years on all of these. Now I know some people will kind of put their nose up to that. 3 years. Well, 3 years in Louisiana is a little bit different from 3 years in another state. We're just a different beast and animal down here, and our whiskey ages rapidly, to say the least. We have had some go longer, but we actually saw the sweet spot with the single malt is at the 3 years, and it doesn't over oak. You still have that grain impact that you want out of a single malt. So we started out. I sent you all some samples of barrels for single barrels, and this one, like I said before, y'all hit a home run with us, and this one is probably the best single barrel of our cash rent that we've ever released. And I'm not just saying that because we're on this pod. It is absolutely delicious. So I hope all of you who want one actually get your hands on one, because it is a small yield. It only yielded 36 bottles, plus a half of a bottle, which I'm drinking tonight. So I only get a half a bottle. which I'm a little sad on. But yeah, it's like you said, it's almost like a deep, rich, um, kind of mix between uh, dark and milk chocolate. Throw in some Reese's Pieces, peanut butter cups. You get a nice peanut butter note on there. The viscosity is real nice. The finish is long on it. So I think they did a good job picking this out.
Sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, to me, this whenever we got the samples, and there was a couple of different samples in there, this one stood out to I think all of us, and we were all like, wow. And then we individually drank them, not on camera and not just away from each other. And then we came back and we're like, which one are you thinking? And we all said this one, and we were like, okay, I guess that's where it has to be. We got to go that route. And the fact that it is, oh man, this is the part where it gets both sad and good at the same time for us, the whiskey enthusiast. It's an amazing bottle, an amazing barrel, but that's the last of its kind, right? So it's like a ghost brand within a distillery, which is really kind of cool. It gives us that cool points, right? But it kind of hurts our heart because we think about what could have came out of Bon Vale in the future. But at the same time, we're like, hey, we're happy to be a part of it and to have a really, really amazing barrel. And the Raisin Dram just put the icing on the top, actually. So
yeah,
that's just me.
Yeah, I'm so glad that y'all appreciate it and enjoy it. I know Doug and I, we've done a live, this was a few months back now, and just talking about, the history and most of the future of Bon Vale and just all across our entire distillery. And those are those people that know are very much sad to see it go, but we have a hard time here in the South and the states that we're in to sell single malt. One of our biggest and best retailers who bought many bourbon barrels from us absolutely love it, but they will not buy a barrel of it because they're like, our consumers just don't buy single malt. And it's sad to hear because, you almost have to open your mind up to just something different because you're not getting into a bourbon on this. I mean, you're going to be malty, you're going to be chocolate deliciousness. And even so, we opened up Colorado around 8 months ago. I was selling up there, and I was very surprised to see that almost every retailer that I walked into, because I went up there in person and sold, every single one of them, I'd take the bottles out, show them what's in our lineup before even tasting anything. Almost every one of them said, "Single malt just doesn't sell very well for us." And that was one of the reasons why I opened up Colorado, because I know people who live there love single malt. That was hard to hear as well. But I know Doug asked me this on the live. Is it really going out? Or are you never going to make it again? We'll see. I hope that we can bring it back. Now we started a whole experimental whiskey line where different grains, different mash bills. I'm actually having a little bit too much fun with it. There is going to be a single malt in the lineup this year. Okay. So yes, we are going to still make it in some sort of fashion. Will it be in our everyday production line? As far as right now, we'll see.
Yeah. And, obviously business reasons outweigh personal stuff. When you're trying to run a business, obviously you got to make the right choice for the business. But personally, is it something like, does it make you kind of sad that you kind of got to discontinue that from a regular everyday lineup whiskey for you?
Absolutely. Single malt is my favorite mash to make.
Okay.
It's easy, actually. It's a lot easier than bourbon to make, but the smells coming off of it. And I tell you what, I had a learning curve in the beginning making single malt. So single malt, using just malted barley, has a head on the fermentation, and I've overtaken our fermenters a number of times in the beginning, and so I learned how to work with barley. So that was not a fun cleanup, to say the least. But it's so much fun to work with. So that's why I'm excited about at least the one going into the experimental line later this year.
Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. It is sad to lose something like that, but at least in like if it ever comes back and works out, great. You're excited about that, and the experimental line every now and then you drop a single malt, that's going to be fun. So I'm glad to see that it's not just gone right. Forever, and because really, honestly, it's good stuff, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Obviously, we wouldn't be trying to hawk it online if we didn't think it was halfway decent. But that's the other thing. It's like you have to understand your market. And I know, Phillip, as a businessman, you're one of those ones where like, yeah, this is what it's cool and it's fun to make, but at the same time, I got to pay bills. So it does make it difficult for you to be like, yeah, it's a cool pet project and it's a cool thing that we can kind of, like you say, experiment with, but like bourbon pays the bills, unfortunately. And it's what people think is American spirit, which I'm not denying that. Obviously bourbon is easy. It's approachable. It's all of those things. But obviously all the guys on this channel, we're very much into that different and new, and not so much new, but like different and unique and malt forward and grainy and stuff like that. So it does, you have to play to your audience. And I think that's why this channel has done as well as it has, is because the audience that we have really enjoy American single malt and what we have to say about it, because it's just one of those things where people don't really talk about it the way that we do. Unfortunately, they want to make it grandiose and say, oh, I was given this bottle by the distillery, so I'm going to give it a 10 no matter what. But at the same time, we want to come across as very genuine in what we're saying and what we're approaching people with. And we wouldn't try and tell you guys to go pick up a bottle of this if we didn't genuinely care for it and genuinely want it to be something that you guys needed to try in your hands.
And look, also too, the market is ever changing, and us as distillers, we're trying to, be psychics over here and read into the future 6, 8, 10 years down the road and what is going to be the next big thing. Example, I had a retailer out of Mississippi just come to us, and they wanted to do a barrel rested gin. I thought I was never going to do it. I actually experimented with one many years ago, and it was terrible. Well, that was more of a barrel aged. This is a barrel rested, and we released it at 166.2 hazmat proof, and it sold out in 5 minutes. And so you never kind of know what's going to hit, or you almost have to experiment with them. But
did you see that hazmat at 166 proof?
Absolutely.
You got the hazmat buzzword.
Please tell me you saved at least a little bit of that.
I have some. I can give you a sample of it.
Oh, because I love gin is my probably my second spirit. I love gin. I love very different gins from around the country, and
that's
hot, impressive. That is impressive.
That's good.
Yeah, but yeah, so we're kind of I know there's this distilleries out there, or almost people in the industry saying that single malt is the next big thing. I would love to see it. Back to that conversation, I would love to go back to make it and put it into the production line. Just what we're seeing right now, we're transitioning, and we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, and I think we worked on in the background a little bit between the three of us. We worked on that as a topic, that something that we wanted to talk about is American single malt the next big thing, and where does that go? I think, this is a personal thought, and I was talking to somebody else about this at one point in time. American single malt, obviously, right now it is a new thing, right? And with it being a new thing, it's going to have a lot more topic. It's going to have a lot more people talking about it at the moment. I don't believe that at any point in time it'll ever be what bourbon is or was. I do see the decline in bourbon a little bit, but it'll never go to second place. I don't think. I think bourbon will always be America's king spirit. And I would love to see American single malt be number 2. And you know, and I like all whiskey. I like rye whiskey. I like bourbon. I like single malt. I like, you know, all of that. And I just think that because we can make such a diverse portfolio of single malt whiskey across the country, you know, from the West Coast to the East Coast to the South to the central parts, you know, to the mountain ranges, they're all very, very different. And I think we can play in that world category really well. And I think we can do it better than a lot of places that are.
Well, and I think that hits a point right there where I put single malt in the category, exactly what you said, on gin. Drink 10 different gins. Are any of them going to taste the same?
Yeah.
Not one of them. Single malt's the same. So, and that's why I'd love for people, if you had a single malt and you don't like it, go try another. I guarantee you it's going to taste different. You know, the spectrum on single malt, maybe not as vast as gin, but they're so different. You know, I've had one up from, I think, Michigan, Texas, Colorado, and not one of them tastes even remotely similar to one another.
Yeah.
So Patrick is doing some math right now in the comments about how much angel share there was on this barrel. He mathed out how many gallons went into the bottle. So 50.47 bottles worth of new make went into the barrel. And we got 36 out. So that's where we got 30%. So 10% a year. That's Gulf Coast whiskey, guys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
that's actually a good percentage. We typically averaging 12 to 15% per year. So I like that.
Nice.
We
got a nice sweet yield on this barrel, actually.
exactly. We did
Do you-
good.
So you know, and at the beginning of this, you did say this went into one of your ex-bourbon barrels. Do you notice? Have you put single malt in a new barrel, or between bourbon and your single malt? Do you notice more angel share on the new barrel than versus the new barrel or the used barrel?
So I haven't used a brand new barrel for single malt, and even working with our grain company, Texas Malt, we're working on a special fun mash bill that we're going to put into the experimentals, and kind of collectively at the table, we're like, this is going to need to go into a used barrel versus a brand new, you know, or back down on our char level from what we're doing. And we are playing with that as well, you know, kind of what chars we're doing for specific whiskeys and seeing the difference come out of there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I want to address one of the earlier comments because I feel like the story, why did we pick 2 barrel picks, is an interesting question. But we also got the question, why didn't we buy more barrels? Right. And so it's like it's a little bit of both in terms of the story here. So like Philip was saying, barrel number 45 is kind of a honey barrel, but it's only 36 bottles, and you can't make the business math with trying to sell a barrel pick with 36 bottles. Yeah. We already put no markup on these, $65 a bottle. And as I understand from talking to Bottle Nexus, it's a little bit of a squeeze on everybody in the chain here to keep that price at $65 a bottle. So we had to make sure that we at least got the volume up. So we couldn't just buy barrel number 45. Our options were buy a couple of single barrels and do a small batch. And we felt like we didn't want to compromise just how good barrel 45 was. So we wanted to preserve barrel 45 for as many people who can actually buy it. And please share these, right? Whoever gets it, share it with people.
Please
let more people try it.
Sample it out for sure.
And then fortunately, in that set of samples we got, we all kind of agreed that port finish is something special too. It's not like a lot of port finish. You hear port finish and you think Angel's Envy. You think cloyingly sweet, red fruits, syrup. This isn't really any of that. It's more like you'd think a dry sherry is going to taste. But it's leaning more in that port direction. It's got savory leather notes to it. It's got chocolate. It's got
the Raisin bran.
Yeah.
Is a spot on note. I mean, you know, Raisin bran cereal, it does have a sweetness. It does have that bran grain flavor. And then you get those sweet little raisin nuggets. And that's a background flavor
I don't know why raisin nuggets just like triggered me.
raisin
I know.
nuggets.
Yeah, sweet little raisin nuggets. It does sound kind of weird. Sorry.
Sounds like sheep poop or something, you know?
Yeah, but it's that pop of raisin flavor.
Yep.
And you get that in this glass, and it adds this lovely backbone to this single malt that is delectable on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So another unique thing, and like I said earlier, I'm not a huge fan of port finish single malts. I think a lot of times it does too much. So.
Yeah, because malt is so delicate generally,
Very.
and and malt has its own inherent sweetness. So it's really easy for a sweet finish to just completely take over.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But this is, like you said, like we keep saying, this one's a little drier in its finish. It's sweet, don't get me wrong, but it's not that cloyingly stick to your mouth like Philip saying in the comments, the raisins sticking together. It's not like that. It's not like sticky sweet. It just gives it. I hate to say it like this. It kind of like knocks the edges off a little bit because it is coming in at cast strength as well. So it is a proofier dram, but also it doesn't taste like it. When you sip on it, it drinks like 105 maybe at the most, and that's the cool thing about both of these. They drink well under their proof point, which is kind of scary sometimes, but at the same time, it also means that you're getting so much more flavor out of the grain and out of the barrel. So and you're getting it at its truest form with the least amount of water in it. So
I mean,
let's get all the technical details on, because
that's a perfect question for our guest, because I think he might know.
Patrick is going to ask all the technical details. So let's
do,
talk about the grain.
Let's
talk about the yeast. Let's talk about the fermentation time. Like, how did we?
Obviously, the stuff you can talk about it. You got proprietary stuff.
Yeah. So like we said, we use a 6-row distiller's yeast for all of our single malt. We're using a distiller's yeast for that. We ferment for 6 days, and then whenever we go to distillation, we don't have a column still, which is why you're getting a lot of. So a couple of reasons why you're getting big bold flavors, long finish is we use a high grain to water ratio, very high, which is another reason why I love making single malt versus a bourbon, and it's such a thicker mash that you're dealing with. Single malt is just so nice and like I said, light and delicate. The smells coming off of it. But so we do use a high grain to water ratio, and we're using a reflux still. So we don't bump it up too much where we're distilling our single malts around 130 proof coming off the still. And then all of these were proofed down to 124 as barrel entry into our used bourbon barrels.
Okay. All right. So just right underneath the max at 124. So max is 125.
Yeah, that was actually a change for us where we used to go barrel entry 125 on all of our products, all of our bourbon, our rye, single malt, and we've actually, seeing what the barrels are doing, seeing what they're doing more specifically here in the Gulf South in Louisiana, we backed down our barrel entry down to 150. So yes, we're paying more in barrels, more in storage, but what we're seeing is you're actually pulling more sugars out of the wood, less tannins. Yes, we all want tannins in our whiskey, but it can overpower it very easily. So by that 115, it's that nice balance. And with all of our new make, we go char 3, medium toast with Kelvin barrel.
Okay.
Kelvin Cooper.
All right. So Patrick, you need to slow down just a touch. I'll get to your questions in a second. The other Philip asked if the 6-row is a thoroughbred.
No, it's not. It's just nope.
And then Patrick again asked, open air or closed on the fermentation?
Yeah, all open tops.
Open tops. Okay, so you do have some probably natural yeast that floats around the place that adds into your, and I'm going to say everybody's favorite word, terroir, at Distillerie Acadian. Because if you are using open, some of that natural yeast that floats around the area will land in there on its own. So
and our stuff is relatively small. We have a 300-gallon reflux still, so we have 350-gallon fermenters to account for that head space. Even though, like I said in the beginning, it didn't exactly work out from the first single malt batches as we overtook quite a few of them. But
And then the last one that I have from Patrick here, are you lautering or distilling on the grain?
Yes, we distill everything on the grain.
Oh,
Perfect.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, ferment and distill on the grain.
Okay. Does distilling on the grain for you produce any challenges, or are you using not an issue where you're burning the grain to the side of the still?
Not at all. So when we first started, I actually used to work at a machine and welding shop, and I built our original pot still, which is a 240-gallon pot still. Since that, around right before COVID, we moved to this more professional, which not only produced a much better, cleaner product, but it produced quadruple the amount of whiskey in half the amount of time. So
Oh.
much efficient. You know, we're firing everything through our steam boiler versus everything was open flame before. And yeah, just a much cleaner product coming out of it now with this new steel.
Perfect. And
Awesome.
that covers one of Patrick's other questions. And then do you mill your grains on site, or do you buy them pre-milled?
Yes, no, we mill everything on site, and we use a hammer mill down to a 32nd. Maybe it's a 16. But very, very fine. So basically a fine powder is what we're
Nice.
milling to.
Okay. Perfect.
So one thing I
Patrick.
want to observe here, I think a lot of people who like if you've had enough of distilled on grain single malt, usually from the smaller craft distilleries, you expect there to be a really strong, like grainy, husky note. And it's not that this has none of that, but it's really tastefully balanced in there.
Mhm. Yeah, it is.
No,
It is.
I'm not getting that weird grainy husky.
Not when it goes
there's
weird. 'Cause
definitely
it does go
grain.
weird.
I mean, there's a grain flavor in this whiskey.
Correct.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. But it's that grain flavor you want to have in a single malt whiskey. It's like it's telling you, hey, I'm barley and I'm tasty. And yes, yeah.
Yep.
So I did see, and I'd love to get everyone's take on this and your thought. There, yes, that one right there. Do you ever smoke your grain? So that is actually in the plan for the experimentals to use a portion of smoked malt. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. 100% yes. Just yes.
All day.
Yep.
That is the plan right now. We're working through the mash bill with Tex Malt, and that's kind of what our initial thoughts landed on. And but bringing in different types of single malt and actually not using 6 row distillers malt at all. That won't be included in this mash bill.
Okay.
Sweet.
Perfect. The one thing that I applaud almost every smaller craft distillery for is their willingness to experiment. Like, yes, we know I can make a bourbon and I can sell it all day long. But, realistically, if you're a distiller, you didn't get into it just to make the same thing over and over and over and over again. You want to play around with that thing. You want to see what it can do. You want to distill, the skins of the apples, or the shoe leather or what you want to play around with it. You want to see what the hell's going on, and you want to make some cool stuff.
Mhm.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but that's the beauty of experimentation.
Mhm.
Well, I tell you what, my favorite mash bill that I've done so far, besides single malt, did it about a year and a half ago. So still in the barrel aging, but it was not a bourbon. It was a 70% Triticale whiskey. So for those of you not familiar with Triticale, it's a hybrid between rye and wheat. So bringing that spice from the rye, mellowness from the wheat. But when I mashed this 7% Triticale, I can't remember the mash bill offhand. Maybe like 20% corn, 10% malt barley, something like that. If those numbers even add up. But the mash smelled and tasted like cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, wow.
And it followed through on the distillate. It was absolutely wild. And I have guys already trying to write their names on those barrels, right now because it's so uniquely good.
Triticale is fun. I've had
It
a
is.
couple. Some obviously are going to do it better than others. But that's, some do bourbon better than others. It's just the way it is. But yes, it is a nice whiskey because you do get kind of like the best of both worlds out of that grain.
Yeah, and by the way, Distillerie Acadian's bourbon is also really good. It's among the best craft bourbons that I've tried personally.
Wow.
The Cajun's Cut is really good, and
it is.
And this is a big year for us in Cajun's Cut. So Cajun's Cut is our everyday shelfer, not our red single barrels, but it's a 94 proof whiskey. That's moving to bottled and bond next month. So that's a big deal for any craft distillery to put out a bonded product. This year we have 3 bonded products. Cajun's Cut's going bonded. We're putting on a bonded wheated bourbon and our first bonded rye whiskey as well.
Nice.
And another one of those buzzwords. We got a wheated bourbon. All the taters are going to swarm you now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was fortunate enough, and I he's not watching tonight, but Dylan from Smallcraft US, he sent me. It's got to be getting close to 2 years ago now. He sent me 4 samples: some Bon Vale, some rye, some bourbon from you, and I got into them, and I'm like, man, who are these guys? This is pretty good stuff. And he goes, and just so you know, this is really young. Like, these guys are really pretty new. And, I'm like, they're going places. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Well,
So I was excited about that.
A year old, if I actually gave him a sample.
Yeah.
It's fun to see kind of, these different whiskeys, different bourbons, age over time and how they are transforming, and kind of little things we're doing to just manipulate the process with not just fermentation, mashing, distilling, types of barrels that we're sourcing and using now, barrel entry that we talked about, and seeing all those kind of work together. And I'll be the first to tell you, the first bourbons that we put out, they were terrible, and then now they're much, much better. Our best stuff even ahead of us. So glad to hear that people are enjoying the bourbon. It's about to get a lot better as well.
Excellent. And it's nice that, and I'm sure you can really agree with this. It's nice that you can ship to almost every state. Almost. I mean, what are you, South Dakota and Utah are a no-go for shipping for you. Yeah. And that's fantastic. That's a big wall to get over for a craft distillery.
Yeah, they do a good job for us, and it makes it so much easier especially whenever we do barrel picks with groups like you guys, and have the chance for your patrons to get it, not going on and looking at the site. Oh, they don't ship to these 20 different states, and I got to ship it to a buddy so he can ship it to me, or
right. And realistically, the whiskey community does do that, but that's not a giant part of the purchasing power for everybody. The majority of people that are shopping online are not in groups like this where they're like, oh yeah, they ship to you? Cool. I'm going to order one, ship it to your house. Can you ship it then to me? And there's a lot of people that won't do that. But to be able to just right off the bat ship it to 48 states is fantastic.
Yeah, no, that means a lot, because the main thing you want to do is get the actual liquid to people that want it. And when you're kind of pigeon-toed in an area where, like you're saying with the Bon Vale, it really didn't sell as much as you want it to. So if you can ship it out to places that are going to be more akin to it, I think it's that means a lot if you can get it out there in the world, for sure.
For sure.
It's interesting. I was talking to Philip about the Colorado market, because he mentioned he just opened up in Colorado.
Right.
When Little Wolf opened, first American single malt bar. There's tons of American single malt whiskey distilleries in Colorado, especially in and around Denver area.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, like, hey, this has got to be a great market for single malt. And actually learned from Philip that, like, a lot of consumers in Colorado don't really think of what they're buying from, like, Stranahan's, etc., as being single malt. It's just good whiskey, right?
That's what the retailers told me. That the only reason it sells is, one, they're local, and 2, people don't know it's single malt. Because actually, if I remember correctly, I don't think the bottle says single malt.
I think it does.
Stranahan's, or
yeah, Stranahan's.
Yeah.
If I remember right, it says Rocky Mountain single malt.
Okay.
It does, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's an argument could be made for like people don't notice it, people don't recognize that, because it's there, right? It's just right underneath Stranahan's there, but
but it's just it's how what the label emphasizes, and like if you think like people think Fireball is whiskey because whiskey is in large print or whatever, right? The way the marketing goes, right? Exactly. It's like it's based on whiskey, it's inspired by whiskey. Right, but like the average consumer is like, all those extra words on the label are just marketing fancy, right? Like they want to know if they're buying whiskey or not. And so that's why so many people, right? My big pet peeve is when people say bourbon and whiskey, right? Or I think even worse, whiskey and bourbon, as it like that's even worse because that implies that bourbon is outside the category of whiskey. Right.
I mean, I understand. Like, yeah, I guess, but bourbon is a subset of whiskey. I mean, what's the saying? All bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
I mean, that's not wrong, but at the same time, it's, I mean, why can't we just say it's good whiskey, period? Like whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter if it's 100% this, 100% rice, 100% whatever. I don't care what it is, as long as it's good whiskey.
And speaking of rice whiskey, sometimes not all whiskey is whiskey. Sometimes some whiskey is actually shochu.
or vodka, whatever.
We don't need to get into that. That's not the topic of this podcast. Stick on the single malt, where we know everything made from 100% malt is whiskey, unless it's. I mean, that's not even true. If it's
well, it depends, right? Well, I guess if you want to come out with a new label, it has to be. But the old designation, I guess it wasn't a designation.
Right.
It just has to be 51% malt. Now we move to 100% malt.
Yeah. And confusingly, that 51% malt category does still exist.
Mm-hmm.
It still exists. So as long as it doesn't, the label is not going to say. Right. Yeah. It has to. The new stuff, 100% barley. If you want it to be an American single malt, the label would state American single malt whiskey. Whereas,
so it's not. You can't say American.
No, you can't just.
It has to be.
You can't
malt
just
whiskey.
say single malt whiskey or malt whiskey. You have to say
whiskey.
American single malt whiskey.
Yeah.
That's what's written in the rule, and I'm still waiting to see if TTB approves a label that doesn't do that.
Right. I'm curious too. I'm curious if they let one slide.
As I feel like it'll happen. I think there's a good argument to say if you replace American with a state, Texas single malt whiskey, Colorado single malt whiskey, right? And there are distilleries that are absolutely going to want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right. Balcones already says Texas single malt whiskey, right? And so like, are they going to change their, like, they have some time. They don't have to right away, but are they going to change their labels to say Texas 1 American single malt whiskey? They could. Maybe they make that choice. I think Diageo is likely to play nice with the law more so than maybe the Maverick independent Texas distillery would have.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No, I don't think it'll play into the new labeling approval. Because I believe single malt is in the same approval process, say it's bourbon, where bourbon, you're not submitting a formula. You're not submitting your actual mash bill with your label approval. So if you have 51% malt and no one's going to know, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they probably, I imagine they've got to have some burden of proof on the distiller where they're saying, I'm claiming to be this type of whiskey. Maybe they don't for bourbon. Maybe they don't have to give the whole mash bill, but like you would think they have to prove it's at least 51% corn, right?
So yeah, man, that's a hard one, because do they just use the honor system and like, they're making bourbon, it's 51%. Well, okay, so what if they're not? What if they're
what if it's 49%?
We've changed with our new bottle and bond labels coming out. We are now more so trying to be as transparent as possible, because I know me as a consumer, I want to know everything about that bottle. Just like we ran through all these questions on the single malt. So we're putting our mash bill directly on the label so that you're not having to go look it up. So that's already technically kind of in the approval process, but by not having to submit a formula proving what my mash bill is, proving what my process is, technically they could always come back to you. If not, if I'm using 70% rye and I'm calling it a bourbon, and that gets found out and my label says bourbon, absolutely, they can always come back and, revoke that label or do even worse.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Are they going to catch you? Are they going to look into it? What's it going to take? Like, if you are cheating the system, if you are putting American single malt whiskey on the label and you're not 100% barley, or you're not distilled at one distillery, or, whatever you're not doing with the rules, what's it going to take for the TTB to come out to you and be like, listen, you got to prove this to me? And if you
it'll come out eventually.
I mean, is it going to take a major enthusiast to be like, man, this does not taste like all barley. This tastes like there's corn, or there's rye, or there's something else in here, or, what does it take? Or do they at some point in time be like, yeah, let's just run through these 10 distilleries that are popping up new labels. Let's just run through their bottles and see what they got.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they reverse engineer or, laboratory it and find out that it's not what they said it is.
And that's pretty interesting that they can do that. That's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, forensic TTB. That would be a cool show on Discovery Channel.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've watched that.
Actually, they did that a while back, and they can actually do that with gin as well. And they can not spot on, but pretty darn close. Exactly the botanicals and the percentages of each in it. That's impressive.
It is pretty impressive. And and for the most part, I gotta believe, people like you, Philip, and companies like yourselves, they're trying to be as realistic and honest as possible. Like, hey, we're making our bourbon. It's 72, 25, 3 or what, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
You did that quick.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's right.
They're trying to be honest, but I can assure you there's a handful of people out there that are not trying to be honest. And, at what point in time do they get caught? And
like I said, it's always going to come out at some point or another. That's why be upfront, honest, as transparent as you can. Sometimes I'm probably a little bit too transparent. Like I'm telling you what our experimentals are. You go to our website right now and go check out, all of our mash bills for our experimentals. Can't have them for 6 to 8 years or whatever the number is. But there you go.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know it's all ultimately it comes down to people evaluating the rules against their training and making calls on labels, and stuff slips through. And I mean, the number of people we've talked to where they're just like, it's not that they're doing anything nefarious, but their label will get rejected for some random reason. And they just submit the same label over and over again in some cases because they know it's good, and they just wait for the TTB to say, yep, cool. Okay, and you just need
lands
one
on
yes.
a different person's desk, and
right.
It wasn't me, but there was one other day that got sent in. Everything was good with it. Rejected, sent in, rejected, like the third or fourth time, same exact one, and ended up getting approved.
Yeah,
that's so weird. And we've talked to Jake from Coming Whiskey several times. And he's like, they must. I think realistically, that office only has like 5 people working in it.
Yeah.
He's like,
well, and here's my problem too. I believe I sent y'all, Doug, I know I did for you, a sample of Timu. So Timu is one of our products. It's also going out the door along with the single malt, and it's unique where it's made with 4 grains: corn, rye, wheat, and barley. But we add cane sugar to the mash before fermentation, so you cannot call it a whiskey.
Sure.
Technically, it's a DSS, Distilled Spirit Specialty, a specialty spirit. We started finishing those, and people actually really love them. We're double oaking some, finishing some, putting out a cigar blend of one. And it's so funny. I'll submit a formula for it because I know I need a formula. Anytime you finish a bourbon, you have to do a formula first and you go to label. Well, I submitted for a formula, it gets rejected. Nope, you don't need a formula. Go straight to labeling. I go to labeling, it gets rejected. Nope, you need a formula. I'm like, guys, can you two talk? Like, we've already dealt with this 6 months ago. Another label just like it. And I'm on the phone with him. It takes about 15 calls, and finally we get it, and these are saying, well, they just changed this, now it changed, and they're not talking to one another. So sometimes it gets a little, I don't want to say frustrating. It's not that bad, but it's like, gosh, just talk, and it's approved.
Yeah, like listen, we're trying to move things here. You're holding us up. Let's go.
Yeah. It's like paying taxes, right?
That's right. Yeah, you got to do it.
Got to do it.
Yeah, and Patrick's question was, is T Moon the best-selling spirit?
So that was actually, it is our worst-selling spirit in the store.
Okay.
In the store.
It's one of our best sellers directly out of the distillery because it's a hand sell. Because it doesn't say whiskey or rum, it actually says spirits distilled from grain and cane. So someone sees that on a retail shelf. What is this? It takes me hand selling it and actually licking their lips and tasting it through. And then now that we released a double oak, we released a couple of finishes of it. Now it's actually one of our better ones, even though we stopped making it years ago. So we'll be most likely sold out of the last of our T-Moon end of this year or early Q1 of next year. Because quite honestly, that's another business decision where it's already a lot of SKUs to manage. I'm already about to put more SKUs in, with our wheated bourbon, our rye, our experimentals, and it's just another thing to manage.
Yeah, it's a cool piece of the history, just like the Bon Vale. If you got it, you got it. If you didn't get it,
see you next time.
Marches on. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll come back.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. So we're coming into about an hour. Why don't we individually, the three of us, or the four of us actually, because I think Phillip, you got a little bit of this Schmilky Way and Raisin Dram both. Let's give everybody a little bit of what we think about these a little bit more in depth. Obviously, we've talked about the chocolate notes, we've talked about the grain, that we like them, we want you to try them, they're unique, all of that. But let's go a little bit more into it.
Who's going first?
So I'll just side note. I still have a little. Sorry, punch the mic. I still have a little bit of the original samples.
Oh yeah, me too.
So
Okay, I do not.
I poured both of these side by side with the samples we had.
So did
which
I.
were pulled several months before those barrels were dumped right. So there could be some differences. 3 months is a lot of time when you're talking about 3 years.
Right.
And pleased to say, not significantly different. But like in a good way.
Perfect.
Like if it changed, it got better, but like it basically is the same. So
and on that note, the 3 months that you're talking about was winter months. That's some of our coldest months. We don't pull a lot of flavoring out in those winter months. So that's why. Now, if it would have been, June, July, August, where it's 174 degrees in Louisiana, it's gonna change.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go first. I brought it up. I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So I'm on barrel 45. I started the show with barrel 45. I actually immediately watered it down. I took one sip and then immediately watered it down a little bit. This is a fresh repour on top of some of the watered down stuff. So I'm back up to almost probably really close to full proof here. I was an advocate for actually proofing down barrel 45 just a little bit. It comes in at 62.05, 62.05%. So that's 124.2. I was actually an advocate for proofing it down to about 55, 56, somewhere in there. Because when I was sampling it through the sample, I would do that. I would try a cast strength. I would try a proof down. I'd go down to 48. I'd come, blah, blah, blah. I thought that 55 to 58 range was the best that I had it. Food for thought, guys. When you get your bottles in, there is a formula to figure out how much you're proofing down your glass of whiskey, so you can do it every time you drink it.
But I always do it with my heart. I look at it and I'm like, that seems like the right amount of water.
I just spit in it.
Like,
wow, like an alpaca over there.
Absolutely. That's how I do it. And then I slurp it back up, and I'm like, wow, that really has a grassy note from the cud I'm chewing. Anyways, continue on.
We're gonna move on from that. Don't backwash into your whiskey, or at least
Patrick,
don't
yes, actually, somewhere in that 55 to 58% is where I found it to be my favorite favorite proof point on the barrel 45.
Generally,
and that's what's so nice about releasing a cask strength, because others are going to like it higher. You know, if you water down to that 55, 58% and bottle it up, then those are the people out here that do want a little bit higher, do want a little bit more flavor coming out of it. They have that ability to.
So I've been sitting on this glass now. I poured it at about 38 minutes of the show. So it's been sitting here for about 25 minutes. And the there is a graininess to this whiskey, especially right when you first pour it. It's fresh crack, first pour, and you smell immediately, you are going to get a graininess on it. After it sat here for this 25-ish minutes, that graininess, I'm trying to think of the right word here. The strength of that graininess has faded substantially, and it is just this really subtle, nice grassy hay type grain. And then the chocolates hit, and the nougat hits, and the roasted peanuts hit, or the roasted hazelnuts hit. Yes, Schminitz, because we're talking about Schmilky Way.
Next barrel pick, Schmidt made.
Better be orange finished. Tang finished.
Sunny D. But the waves that come through when you nose this, it hits. There's a nose that comes off right away, and then as you keep doing it, it waves in, and it's so unique in that it can change as you're smelling it. It changes, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I've had a hard time with tasting notes on it, because this thing is such a chameleon.
Yes. Perfect word. Chameleon.
That is perfect, because it literally, from every sip or every sniff that you take of it and adding a drop of water or whatever, it changes. The complexity in it is just, it's like, okay, now it's chocolate. Well, hold on. Now it went to something else. Now it got like this weird granola note. Now it's this, and
it's almost gone a little bit of rum grassy on me sometimes. Like you get like one of those like well-aged, like, I'm gonna say Diamond Distillery just to pull one out. That's not too funky, but it's also not like an Agricole. Like Agricole's super grassy, but like you get like a rum. I don't know how much of the audience knows about rum, but I imagine some of you guys are probably.
Marshall's not in the comment, so
we got to get him in here. I know why he's not here, but like,
Gordon's Pub. Thank you for joining, and thank you for the question. Yes, absolutely. I play around with every whiskey I have. I water it down. I drink it at cast or bottling strength, whatever that may be. If it's cast strength, if it's not cast strength, even my 40%ers, I water down sometimes. Yeah, I play with every whiskey I drink, and just to see, because you never know. Like maybe 35% is the best that whiskey is ever going to be.
Right,
and that's personal. That's personal. Well, it's not whiskey here in the States. It's still whiskey over in Scotland. It's still whiskey.
Yeah,
in Scotland below 40%.
Yes,
35.
Really? And I thought New Zealand.
No way.
Well. Yeah,
I thought you had to, because like there's sometimes where they have barrel strength like it's 30 years, but it's in danger of dropping below 40%. So they have to dump it.
Yeah, and it's our rules that are, and maybe it's not Scotland. Maybe I'm thinking of a different country.
I know New Zealand. The Lafroig is 35%.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's what I'm thinking. The Asian market is legit at 35. But our rules are 40%.
What I've been trying to say, speaking of Lafroig, what I've been trying to say, the first time I saw a watered down recipe was on a bottle of Lafroig, and they said 2 parts water to 1 part whiskey. And I checked it over and over again because I'm like, there's no way that's true. That's what they want you to do, right? It's like Lafroig cask strength. So 2 parts water, 1 part whiskey. And it was like around 60% ABV to start. So if you do that, you end up with 20%.
Yes.
I don't even know if you could call it a spirit anymore at that point.
It's
right.
It's a thing.
And it's smoky and lemony. Like, it definitely tastes different. You experience a different side of the whiskey that way. But it's wild to me that a whiskey bottle is recommending that much water
absolutely
be added.
You know what? You guys spent the money to buy the bottle. Do whatever the hell you want to do with it. It's your bottle.
Yeah.
A bottle is big.
If you want to, put an ounce in a glass and then drops 8 ounces of water on top of it, do it. Who cares?
Make a highball out of it. I don't care. Tell us what your best recipe is, and we'll try it. Because if it tastes that good to you, it's got to be worth something. I mean, you might have a bad palate. You might be a trash palate, but whatever. We will definitely give it a thumbs up.
And the thing about this this whole hobby, this whole thing, right? Enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Whatever it takes to enjoy it, enjoy it.
All right, Doug, you want to go
a whole YouTube show so you can send you can send whiskey from all your bottles to 36 random strangers once a year.
I mean that's a thing, right? That just happened. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put a plug into my buddy Matt because he just mentioned Detling and Crittenden. So Matt Crittenden, and this is a bottle that y'all would absolutely love. Since you like Scotch, since you like single malt, Matt did his bourbon finished in a Lafroig barrel. It's absolutely out of this world. Gets that nice smokiness to it that you don't get with any bourbons out there. It's just such a well done finish.
I got to try the Barrel Craft Spirits did that, and it wasn't as good. I will tell you that. I think they sometimes the product that Barrel has, and this is no diss to Barrel, they're obviously doing a thing way better than I can, but they some of their spirits are a little off for me. But that one I was expecting it to be really good because I'm like, yeah, Lafroig, let's go. And it just, I don't know, it didn't, but that one I'm definitely interested in. Yeah. Richard said he's going to send me over a sample of it, Game and Grains. So we'll see.
Cool.
That's right. It was a Spillway pick. That was last year's Spillway block party. So he just had that this past weekend. And that's where our hazmat gin sold out in 5 minutes.
All right, I'm going to throw out this question to you guys.
Go ahead.
You would think on the face of it that the port finished is going to be more dessert leaning than the non-port finished barrel. Do you think that's true here?
I'm leaning to no.
No,
because
I think so.
I've been sniffing on the port finish for a minute. I haven't sipped it in a minute because I was on the barrel 45, and now it's that the brand of the raisin, right? The maltiness, it is sugary. It does have some sweetness to it, but like it's not like the chocolatiness and the confectionery part of the 45. It's not in here. I don't know if the port is masking it with the raisin note that comes through, but I mean, to me, it's like obviously it's a completely different whiskey, but like, I would think it could be a completely different distillery. Seriously. Like if you side by side these blind, it very well could be.
The port finished is far more savory than it is sweet. Far more savory than it is sweet. There is some sweetness to it.
It reads with sweet notes. Like, yeah, like, Raisin Bran, right? It's got raisins in it. It's got a little bit of sugar hints in there, but it feels more tannic and leather. And like the chocolate is kind of a dark chocolate. I get like a Ghirardelli double fudge brownie a little bit on it sometimes.
Okay.
Like just peeks through. Like that's not dominating the flavor profile, but like it's not like a sweet caramel milk chocolate. It's not like that. Whereas the Barrel 45 does give me more of that kind of thing, right? I get the nougat and caramel out of a Milky Way bar and hints of milk chocolate sprinkled around the edges.
Hey, Ernest Peacock.
Barrel finishes to see how these finishing barrels transform the whiskey without overtaking them. Because we try our very hardest not to overpower it, and you're just getting finished forward. But when we side by side, so we're going through a whole lineup, give a tasting to a lot of different people throughout the week, and we get to the single malt, and it's so fun to see who likes the cask strength single barrels, who likes the port finish better. It's pretty much split down the center.
I can see that. I mean, that should be almost what you expect, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy going to the Raisin Drams. It is, to me, it's one of those ones where it's as complex as the 45, but like I could sit back with this one, and I haven't added water to it, and I want to, but you could sit back, be watching a show on TV or whatever. If you do that, watching YouTube, watching, Blind Sample Showdown or whatever.
Who watches TV anymore?
Who watches TV, right? Exactly.
It's all YouTube.
Watching your kids watch YouTube videos, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, don't let your kids watch this YouTube video.
This one is not. Yeah.
This one hasn't been bad.
No,
it's not that we're not family friendly. It's that it's alcohol content.
That is true. But like, you can sit back with the Raisin Dram, and if you want to dive into it, you can. You can dive into it and pick out the complexity of it. But also, you can lean back and just be like, this is just a great dram to have on a night like tonight, hanging out with friends, right? Like, this is a great dram just to have. Whereas 45, it makes you take notice of it, and you're like, I'm complex, I'm unique, I'm different. So like, you feel like I need to write tasting notes for this, like you feel like you're gonna miss out on 45. Whereas the Raisin Dram is a little more laid back and a little more, dare I say, approachable for some people who aren't as into American single malt, and especially grain forward American single malts. I just feel like it really showcases complexity, but also balance.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. I think 45, like I've said to some people, like, I think certain people won't like it, but not because it's not good, not because it's not tasty, because you need, like, it's a lot of people drink whiskey as a background to some other
powerful
activity.
It's a very powerful whiskey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna grab you. You got to be patient with it. It's like a meditation whiskey. It's not a on the side of something else kind of whiskey. But one of the reasons I was glad we could also offer the Raisin Dram here is specifically the opposite, right? It is something that invites you to analyze if you want to, but works perfectly well if you're putting together a jigsaw puzzle or building a kid's playset, as I was doing a couple nights ago. It is excellent whiskey to go alongside a background activity, talking with friends. It's a session whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's so cool about having both of these. And if you get the chance to be able to pick up both of them, do the side by side of the complexity and the nuance of one, and the approachability, but also the complexity of the other, and just kind of play. And that's the cool thing about whiskey. And I know, Philip, you can talk to this because you need to talk, because we're taking the show over. But that's one of the things you can say. It's like, whiskey is for enjoying, right? All whiskey. I don't care what whiskey you're drinking, as long as you're drinking with friends and having fun with it, and you're not trying to drown away your sorrows. It's really just you can think about it as much as you want, or it can just be, hey, I want to, as little as you want as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a great point. I mean, every whiskey has its place in time. What kind of mood are you in? What did you eat that day? What activity are you doing? I tell you what, more times than not, when I'm smoking a cigar, I'm actually going after this port finish single malt over everything that we have, our T-Moon, our bourbon, our gins. I'm going after this port finish. I feel like it pairs so nicely with especially like a Maduro cigar.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It definitely has some things in common with a cigar malt.
Oh, I could jam out to a cigar with this whiskey. And I don't personally, I don't drink whiskey with cigars very often, if hardly ever. I prefer enjoying the cigar with the flavors of the cigar, and leave the cigar as it is, and have something sweet like a soda, like a Dr. Pepper, and vice versa with the whiskey. I enjoy the whiskey, and leaving the cigar out of the whiskey and doing that. However, there is times that having a glass of whiskey is very nice with a cigar, and this is a whiskey that I think would go very well with most cigars.
I've had, I think, 2 cigars in my life, and the first one I had with Macallan, and the second one I had with Lafroig.
Well, at least the
separated by a space of probably 10 years.
Sorry.
Sorry, I just
yeah. One of the ones that I had was in Cuba, and let's just say my wife was in a store. I got the cigar. I said, I'm just gonna smoke this cigar. As you go in the store, it's fine. By the time she got out, I was almost passed out on the floor in the middle of Cuba. The entire country, like I was big as Cuba, right? Think of that.
Just the middle of Cuba, literally.
Havana. Sorry, Havana. And like I was so high, whatever you want to call it, off of that. Like it ruined my life. Like it was horrible. The worst thing. And then I tried it one other time and it made me sick as a dog. And I said, no more after that.
If you are not into tobacco, having a cigar, not the worst decision ever. However, if you have a very strong cigar and you have not indulged in tobacco much in your life, that is a totally powerful, different type of tobacco, and it will make you ill.
Will kick your butt.
It will give you the spinnies and the tinglies and wah-wahs. So, yes.
I'm probably because I'm a good boy and I've only ever puffed without inhaling on cigars because I don't do tobacco.
Well, you don't inhale cigars.
Yeah,
I think I've managed to not get too intense of a dose of nicotine, but like I still got the tingles and the
wah-wahs.
I guess the wah-wahs, yeah, whatever that word was.
Tinglies and wah-wahs. There's probably a few people.
Oh crap! We are going way off topic here, so let's reel it in.
Hey, you tuned in to hear about barrel picks and a couple of guys who don't smoke cigars talk about cigars.
All right, so I kind of gave my thoughts on Barrel 45 in depth. You guys kind of added a little bit of things here and there. We all do pretty much agree on both of these barrels.
Yeah, it was the kind of thing where Randall sent his tasting notes, and I was like, you know what? I think I don't need to also write tasting notes. Like, I think he got it.
He got it. He did. He got it.
I mean, I got the little medallion right there for a reason, I guess. I don't know, but it's one of those things where you can deep dive it, like we've said about both of these. You can deep dive them as much as you want, or you can just drink them as damn good whiskey. And however you want to look at it. I feel personally, both of them are amazing for whoever wants to pick them up. Hopefully anybody who's out there watching, listening, you'll be able to get one, if not both of these. And if you haven't got both of them, hit one of us up and we'll send you a sample of the other that you haven't been able to get, because I want you to be able to try both of these. And I know Phillip does as well, because he spent the time, money, and energy to make these. And we want to make sure that you have the best bang for your buck when you're out there, because here's the thing, there's a lot of whiskey out there. You can get any bottle. Like you look on, Seelbach and all these other places, Big Thirst, all of those, they have hundreds of bottles you could buy. And for you to pick our single barrel, it means a lot to us and also to Phillip. But at the same time, we understand that your money is very valuable and we want it to be worthwhile. And we feel like these are very worthwhile picks. And I speak for myself, but I think I speak for everybody else.
You do.
And on top of that, they're an endangered species, but there's Bon Vale not made anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they're cool as well.
This is your last
I hope there's people in here that picked up a bottle or both of the bottles that will get to not only try a dying breed, but you get a sense of who we are with this whiskey. Because it's while our bourbon is going to be night and day different than the single malt from our weeded from our rye, across the board we're going to be big, bold, kind of long, never-ending finishes, and that's what we set out to do, is kind of differentiate ourselves. Where we're going to be flavor packed. I'm not trying to mimic any other bottle on that shelf.
I could not
shows.
agree with you more.
It shows.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It is flavor packed. It doesn't remind me of any other bottle I've had.
No.
Which
there was a period of time
around is why I liked it.
Yeah, around mid 2024 through beginning of 2025, there was a time where I just kept getting samples or ordered bottles of whiskeys that were just so different from each other in the American single malt category. Unique thing after unique thing, and I keep expecting there to eventually some pattern will emerge. But VDC has kind of a unique profile that everybody else doesn't have, and I haven't really encountered that before. Certain types of copperworks, same deal. I can't remember. Don't make a list live, but Bon Vale is one of the most out there in terms of flavor profile. Like, I didn't know single malt could do this.
Yeah,
right.
And I haven't, and I've given it some time. This was January 2025. January 2025 or thereabouts. Whenever Philip was able to send me samples, when I first got to try it, it's been a year. I've tried a bunch of other stuff. Nothing's like this.
No, it's not.
And it could possibly be because I am using or use past tense distiller's malt. To my knowledge, not many distilleries are doing that. They're actually using, Pilsner malt or other sorts versus I was using what was on hand. I did a test batch, like I said earlier, and it kind of blew me and us away. And that's why we stuck with it. And to see kind of what it has evolved to, it makes me very sad that I took it out of production.
Yeah, because you can't know sometimes with it. You got to wait for some years.
Yeah, exactly.
And Gordon's Pub, we couldn't agree more.
Amen. I mean, why do you think we're here? We're all thinking the same thing. And that's what's so cool. That's what's so cool about doing this show is we get to talk and taste through whiskeys that are completely different from each other, but they're all inherently American single malt, which is so cool because like they're so broad, whereas man,
they're all the same, but they're all super different.
They're totally different. They're totally different.
How many people on Blind Sample Showdown call out correctly American single malt whiskey blind?
Right.
I think there's more hits than misses.
I think a lot of them are meta guesses because they know I have a lot.
Okay, fair.
So we're just gonna go with that. But no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Like there's something about it where it's like, wow, that's different, and yet still I'm pretty sure it's American single malt, not Australian single malt, not Indian single malt, not Japanese single malt, not Scotch. American single malt has an identity, even though this is a huge country with a ton of different regions, right? Gulf Coast whiskey, this is the first time I've had Gulf Coast whiskey. If you don't count like some random like distillery in Houston somewhere. Just kind of.
Excuse you, giant. What? Sorry.
But like, Distillerie Acadian is quite closer to the water, right?
Yeah.
The really humid climate, right?
Yeah.
I know there's a single malt in Florida. I haven't had a chance to try, but my friend Carrie is going to probably send me a sample.
Sweet.
Cool. So we'll see. I mean, that's like, it's just there's not a lot to choose from if you want to like figure out what does Gulf Coast whiskey taste like. But this is your chance to try at least one of them.
I can tell you what it tastes like. It tastes like this.
It tastes like
this. It tastes like good.
Oh, by the way, we've shown pictures, but like let's just like show off the tater stickers real quick. Yeah. When you buy these bottles, you also get
look at the color differences in camera takes here.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Oh Lord!
Somehow Germany's better lighting, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
no, here's what's happening. So I'm putting mine at the camera, and that is actually in front of my lights. So my lights are on this side. Yeah. So if I put them back here, the color shows.
You have to put them behind your head like this.
A little bit better. See.
And did we ever actually say like write down anywhere what the strength on these is? The barrel 46 is 124.1 proof. Barrel 45, sorry. My label here is a little blurry.
You got a different one than I did?
The port cask. No, yeah.
I can't read that. But I think
surprise other barrel.
Yeah, it's not a little small.
I think it's 61.3, but he was kind
So
of
124.1.
the actual
Milky Way.
big label.
Yeah. And the port cask is the 122.6 or 61.3%.
Yeah, 61.3. Yep.
Raisin Dram. Yeah, I sent y'all a front label as well. Just
yeah,
Randall doing the thing that I was supposed to do, which we actually got copies of the full size labels in our box of samples.
Come on, Germ, get your shit together.
What did I do?
No, not Germ.
Both of us flubbed. Yeah. Keep throwing me under the bus. Because I accidentally threw you under the bus a whole bunch last month.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
All right,
need to be under the bus.
I think we're coming into an hour and a half here. Let's start wrapping it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's one more time tell people how to get it in case anybody. I know that we dipped. We had 18 viewers at one point. We dipped way down. We've got more now. So for anybody who didn't hear, so the way you get these is you go to Distillerie with an IE.
Instead of a
Acadian.com. You click on barrel picks.
Mm-hmm.
You put in the password 3 guys 1 grain.
Mm-hmm.
And then you order your bottles. And we're just asking, ideally for barrel 45, you order just 1 bottle per person because we want the most people possible to be able to get and enjoy this. But for the port cask, go ham. It's delicious. There's plenty of bottles. Buy as many as you want. Buy more.
Go back tomorrow and buy more. It's fine.
Yeah. And if you're Patrick, wait until we're down to the last bottle. Yeah, and then buy the last one.
I'm going to buy bottle 120, and that's it.
Okay.
No guarantees.
There is how you spell Distillerie Acadian. That is the website to go to. If you hit the 3 lines at the top right of the page, it will have a drop-down menu. There is a drop-down menu tab that says Barrel Picks. Go into the Barrel Picks. Password is 3 guys 1 grain, all lowercase.
Using the numerals for 3 and 1.
Yes, numerals for 3 and 1. And then, well, here, I'll enter another banner here. So we got that, right? And go ham. But yes, if you can, that's the password. Try to do limit 1 on the Schmilky way or barrel 45 if you read it that way.
But if it's been a week or so and nobody else has got them, do what you want to do. Like at least let us get it out to the public, because right now it's not public. It's only people who are on this and who are on the Discord and the Patreons and things like that. So
make it a little bit hard to get this info right off the bat,
right?
But then we're going to make it.
We're trying to be a little bit of a tease. So
a little bit.
Make sure that our dedicated
Molly Allen, thank you, appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
yes, Molly.
Excellent juice here. But I did want to ask Philip his take on these 2 barrels. What's the person who made them think about these in particular versus the remainder of his, or the other single malts that he's made?
I would say the barrel number 45 was the most unique single barrel that we've had today. A lot of them are pretty similar, but I'm gonna say the chocolate notes, and I get a lot of peanut butter off of it. Mm-hmm. It's much more pronounced on this one, which I absolutely love. I told you guys, and I also told you guys, I'm not just saying this because we're on the live. We're trying to push the bottles to your Discord and Patreons right now, but this is the best barrel single malt that we've ever had. It really is. It really is that good. Now, as far as tasting notes, don't ask me that. I can make it. I am not great at tasting notes, and even worse at cocktails. My motto is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. But to some degree is everyone gets their own tasting notes. I could say you're going to get creme brulee off of this one. I don't get it at all, right? Take it in a back room in a dark closet and go see a tasting notes for yourself, and you're going to get something completely different, which is so awesome about whiskey. And then sharing the different tasting notes that you're getting versus you might put some water in it. I didn't. Someone may have put in cherry Coke and mixed it with it. Like you said, Randall, drink it how you like it.
Amen.
Don't come down on anybody if that's the way they like to drink whiskey. Because me personally, like when we're drinking like this and we're trying and we're getting tasting notes out of it, yes, I'm going to drink it neat. But I'm an everyday ice drinker. That's the way I like it. You know,
perfect.
Nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Sometimes people decide whether to buy a bottle based on whether it's a good value. Usually when I do reviews and I write out my tasting notes and I give it a score, and I haven't given this one a score, but I feel like I could definitely say $65 for this whiskey is a fantastic value.
Okay.
And for both of them.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here, and this is the Three Guys One Grain channel. We do talk about American single malts. Philip, I know we got you on right now. We're talking about two very specific barrel picks at cast strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
From a distillery that is pretty small. But, okay. Everybody knows Cedar Ridge.
Correct.
This is the
at least our audience should by now.
Yeah, this is the regular Cedar Ridge quintessential 92 proof. They make this all the time. There's a whole bunch of it. It goes into a Solera vat. They empty the Solera vat 50% to bottle. This is a $65 bottle of whiskey. Okay.
Yep.
Give or take.
Stranahan's yellow label. Stranahan's yellow label, 47% alcohol. $65 bottle of whiskey.
$65 bottle of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Boulder Spirits. New American.
You get where I'm going with this. Yeah. This is a barrel pick that three enthusiasts of American single malt have picked. You're getting it at cast strength. It's from a fantastic smaller distillery. The price on this is probably far less than where it should be.
Amen.
I'm just and look, we try our very best to keep it reasonable for the consumer and we've had people come to us say, I can't believe this is a $65 bottle, because we do the same with our single barrel cask strengths of our bourbon, 124 proof, 120, 130 proof bourbons at a $65 bottle, and people come to us. I appreciate the price point on this, because we've all seen it. More and more barrel picks are coming out nowadays, and they're all $100 or more.
Plus,
and gas and diesel is way up, and times are kind of getting harder. We don't have $100 to try, every barrel pick out of there. So we try to keep the prices reasonable for everyone.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm gonna channel, ratings are hard. I'm not gonna do one live, but I'm gonna channel my co-host Philip from the Rangers Respite and ask these questions. Do I like it? Hell yes. Do I think it's a good value? Hell yes. And am I gonna buy it again? I mean, I bought 3 of each, and 2 of them are a gift for my father-in-law. You won't be able to, but if I could,
I would.
I guarantee when you get these bottles in hand, the solid majority of you are going to immediately wish you had bought more of them. Yeah. So since you're not going to be able to do that because this is pre-sale only, accommodate for that urge. If you know you're the type of person who's going to try an excellent whiskey and is going to say, I wish I had bought more of that, do it now with the port cask finish, because again, we want to let Barrel 45 go to as many people as possible.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, Philip, I appreciate you coming on. Amen. You guys, it's kind of your obligation. So, but
we get paid to do this. He doesn't.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Y'all getting paid?
Well, hold on. What?
Look, all I know is I'm getting a fraction of the revenues, which is 0.
0 times 3. That's a lot.
It is.
Look, I really appreciate y'all having me on, and really appreciate. Sound weird that y'all appreciate the whiskey that I'm making. It's Doug, when you had me on, months ago, and we went through it. It was so heartwarming to know that there's a large group of people out there that actually appreciate one single malt, but also the single malt that we're bringing.
Yes,
absolutely.
Large group of people. I mean, depends on I wonder, audience, everybody who's here, somebody who's into American single malt. You think maybe somebody who might be into American single malt. There's a community out here, right? We got Three Guys One Grain. We've got Freedom Malts. We've got Single Malt Frontier. We've got Off Topic Whiskey. There's other podcasts that are also into American single malt. Right. Less often. Join us, follow us on social media, interact with us about American single malt whiskey. Tag me. If you post about American single malt whiskey, tag me in that post. I am not bothered by tags.
No.
I want to be part of that conversation.
Please.
Because that community is just so small, and I think it could be bigger. And I think we just need to all find each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I know,
I agree.
depending on how you count, there's, maybe 1,200 to 2,000 people accounts wise in terms of my followers on various platforms that are into American single malt whiskey. That's probably bigger than you were thinking.
Yeah.
And I am a small channel with not a lot of reach. There's got to be tens of thousands of people out there who are really into it and
There
just
really
don't know
is.
where to get information. So send them our way because we got the information.
And if we don't have the information, we'll do what the hell we can to find the information.
Absolutely.
Right.
We're going to get it. We're going to get
And
it.
a lot of times our community is telling us about stuff we don't know. So like there's
Absolutely.
too much. For
I've
everyone to
heard
know.
I've heard so much from Patrick that I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I had no idea, but
I had no idea. Yeah.
so
And just
you
because
know.
we didn't touch on it, Bon Vale means something. Philip,
Yeah.
could you educate
Yeah.
us?
Before we
Yeah, so
go.
Bon Vale is it's an old party toast. So the word is half Scottish, half French. So half of my family from Scotland, the other half comes from France. And so back in the day, rather than saying cheers, it's an ancient party toast where they say Bon Vale. So if you actually, when you get the bottle, you'll see there's a hand with a kilt and cheersing with a Glencairn on the back of the label. So that's kind of where it came from. And all of our names of our individual products have a deep and long meaning to them. And this was kind of bringing us back to our roots.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And I think we need to go out
There you go.
with
I
that.
didn't know that. I think so.
I think that would be
And
it.
that's why I brought it up, because as we're wrapping this thing up, there's only one toast that makes sense today.
Absolutely.
It does.
So to all of you, thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank
Bon
you.
Vale.
Bon
To
Vale.
everybody that went on and ordered, we immensely appreciate you.
Thank you.
so much.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
until next time, guys. Brandon,
Cheers.
you got anything?
Rip them and sip them.
There you go.
And Bon Vale.
Bon
Vale,
Vale. Yeah, that's
everybody.
you.
All right. Excellent.